Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be playing around with some new paints and smashing them around using a brayer. So on the right hand side, you can see where this page got its inspiration from. This is one of the pages from the 2024 Artist Almanac, which is a calendar that 18 artists, including myself, were involved with supplying 365 pieces of art. And each day you can tear out the page and use it as collage fodder, or use it as inspiration, or die cut it, or whatever you chose to do. For the month of January, seeing I'm on holidays, I've chosen to do a page from each, not replicate, but to use a page from the Artist Almanac as an inspiration to create my own page. And that's what I'm doing today. So I am using some of the new Dina Wakley colours. This is a beautiful sapphire. You saw me apply the gesso in the background, and I've just scribed into the wet gesso with my pencil to create some graffito type effect. And then I'm going to dry up as I add the additional layer, so I can layer over the top. Now, I very rarely use my brayer in my journals, but I actually really enjoyed how it helped me get paint onto this page as opposed to using a brush. So you can see, you can mix it together. You're going to get printed bits, you're going to get solid bits of colour. You can't really predict how it's going to go on, but it's an interesting way to add things to your page. Because the paint goes on quite thin, you have to work quite quickly if you want to scribe into it. So you can sort of see on that top bit where it was wet, I was able to get more movement of the paint than I was in the bottom area. So that's one thing to have sort of a consideration while you're using a brayer. If you're putting paint on with a paintbrush, you can add it deliberately thicker, whereas with a brayer it is going to go on quite fine every time. You'll also notice that I'm using my right hand page of my journal as a bit of a roll off page. That will be used at some stage in the future. It's already got paint in the page, so I like doing that in my journal because I'm less precious about what I do on those pages. It's already got colour on it. It's already, air quotes, ruined. It's not really, but it's not staring at me as a blank page anymore. So now I've got my three colours in the background. So I've got that beautiful sapphire, I've got mustard, and I've got raspberry. I'm going in and adding some stamping to my page, and I'm using the colours of the background to as inspiration to sort of layer up. So I'm starting off with some of this pink. You can see my stamp wasn't altogether clean when it went onto the ink pad. So I'll be sort of using some pinks and blacks, and I would have used white, but I can't find my white ink pad at the moment. So I'm going in with some stenciling using my white gesso. And basically when I'm doing stuff like this, I just put out a little bit of paint and then just continue to stencil until I've used up all the paint. So I don't mind it's quite faint in some places. That just adds to the overall effect and gives you this sort of really grungy looking background. So you can see I'm putting out a little bit more paint again, and this time I'm using my palette knife to scrape it on, just to get that true sort of white onto the page as well. So a palette knife's another alternative to using a brayer if you didn't have one, of getting paint onto your page. The other thing you could do is like an old credit card or gift card. Even in a pinch, I've used a thick piece of cardboard to scrape stuff onto my page as well. So just use some different tools that you've got around to add marks and interest onto your page, or different ways to apply paint to your page. One really cool way, if you didn't have a dot stencil like I had in the background and you had some bubble wrap, is brayer some white paint over your bubble wrap and press that into the background. So look around you and use your imagination and see how it's going to sort of end up on the page. So once I've finished drying that off, because that paint is a little bit thicker, takes a little bit longer to dry, I'm then going in and putting in some pink dots. So you can sort of see where I'm getting the inspiration from on the other page. and again drying that off. The paint markers dry pretty quickly, but you just need to be aware that if you're going to put your hands in things like I tend to do, you need to have it a little bit dry. To add a little bit of shadow or a shade to my page, I'm just going in, this is a really fine dotty black, stamp that I'm putting in black in the background, and you'll sort of see in the close-up how that helps to add to the sort of grungy nature of the page. Finally, I'm just going in and putting a little bit more yellow in because I just wanted that really strong colour, and it helped break up that big group of stamps in the background or in that bottom corner. So if you feel that something's not balanced, you can go back and add more paint afterwards. Just because you've added one colour once doesn't mean you can't add it again. You can see I'm going in again with a little bit more white and adding that onto the page too, just to break up that yellow as well. Okay, so only you know when you're finished. I wish sometimes I knew I was finished before I did, because I keep adding stuff to it, but that's how it goes. So this is the close-up. You can see all that sgraffito into the background, but I've scrolled into it. You can see the sort of the shades of the stenciling. I decided in the end I was going to add a quote to it, so creativity without action is nothing. And that was how it ended up, and then this is the final page. I've found with my Artist Almanac that I have been washi taping the inspiration page onto my page, so I can sort of flip it away so I know where my inspiration for the page or the colours have come from. So that's how I've chosen to use mine. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this has given you some ideas, and until next time, bye for now.